What's up, everybody? Thanks for checking in. This is episode 5 of the Night Show podcast with my special guest. It's the God, Eastside Long Beach. What's up?
All right, shit, man. So, yeah, that first
2018,
yeah,
man.
right.
2018, you got to do
Reminder,
it.
make sure that's all.
Yeah.
So thanks, man, for coming up with this. I know we've been trying to get this going for a minute since the live show.
Yeah,
Back in the Creative House and shit. We kind of started off then, but it wasn't the right time and place for it. But
Right.
we got it now.
For sure. I'm just happy to be here, man. I've been wanting to rock with you. I like because it's some grassroots, ground up type. You know what I mean? I know, like I say, I've not known you, but just being acquainted with you and just seeing your different endeavors. And you put something on me earlier. You was like that you wanted to be a creator.
Yeah.
Either you creating or you destroying out here.
Yeah, man.
And you said you wanted to create something, so I'm happy to be a part of something you created.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you being here.
Yeah,
Just like,
yeah.
we watering each other, man. We like plants out here.
Right.
You know how it is.
For sure.
Yeah, especially out here, bro, because, there's a lot of cats just doing a lot of yapping, but, like, with your new project, man, that's just proof that you out here really working.
Okay.
I really like it. I didn't get a chance to talk to you about it well, man, but I was jamming it the other day when I saw you. I was like, oh, shit. But you told me that you came out with a new project, so I was like, oh, let me check it out.
I'll be wondering how people feel about it, man.
This man's sound is dope.
The sound is cool. Okay, yeah. Now, I've been working on that for a while. Like I say, all that is me. I feel like I made a big album, 21 songs. People say, oh, why you make a long album? Everybody doing EPs these days. So I wanted to just do something that was just off the record, something old, nostalgic, but also it was telling the story. So if you listen to it, it's like skits and everything to bring everything together for you. So I just wanted to write a movie. That's all I wanted to do, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like that's something that hip-hop and just culture in general has been missing for a minute. Like, they don't, the souls is out there, man. It's a lot of, like, that repetitive trap beat and just keeps going. But, you can have that, but, like, there's no substance to it. It's to the point where, like, and I think you saw that with a couple of artists that just came out with some recent projects. Trying to think of Huncho Jack.
Yeah.
Like, people were real critical about it because they were just like, they thought there was gonna be this real, like, dark, heavy, like, Days Before Rodeo type Travis
money,
Scott.
Man. They get money. That's
that was a money move. So I appreciate the hustle. Like, I understand it, but I think there's a lot the audience wants something more that they can just be
even
like.
with the Big Shine and Metro Boomin out, everybody was saying that
wasn't-
should have been harder. Well, it's what we have. Everything is so these days. You know what I'm saying? So it's just even the sound is just sonically there. Like it's like when you first heard Dr. Dre Compton album. When you hear it now, it's like the sonically. It was crazy when the first week,
right?
But in the next month too, it's like okay. So I don't know, something the water, something in the music and the sound. I can't put my finger on it, but it's things just zipping. Like everything's shifting. I feel.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of folks now. I find myself listening to like a lot older albums. Yeah, it's because it's just like, man, I want something else, something.
Because it's the time. Like, okay, you said the 90s.
Yeah.
People don't even say what time zone is. People don't even say what decade. Or we're in the. You have people say we're in the 2020. People don't say that.
Yeah.
You say
don't.
We don't even love it. It's like we just living. Oh, I'm in the 80s, 70s, or the 90s. Nah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, like the 2000s was like. That's where I felt like there was a point where like the music just kind of like took a nosedive.
Right.
Like it got so corporate to the point where it's like the soul was gone.
Yeah.
And
That's what I try to do with this album, G.O.D, right? So that's the moniker I went with, and I went with the album. The album was called G.O.D first. Well, I got it from a Common song, Common and CeeLo Green, off the One Day It All Makes Sense album.
Oh, shit,
and the song was called G.O.D, Gaining One's Definition. CeeLo Green's verse was so crazy to me. I'm like, oh, man, that song was my favorite song on the album, just gaining one's definition, like finding God for yourself, or finding things for yourself, not letting people define things for you any longer. And so that's why I realized it's G.O.D, gaining one definition. So when I found out who God was, it was in my definition. And that's why I liberated myself, because it wasn't what they told me, When I found out what it was for me, that's when that's when I was really to make that name change, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it really, that's a tenfold. So gaining one's definition, G.O.D, meaning, gaining one's definitions, who you think it is, but really know that's for you, because there's a lot of things influencing thoughts, and a lot of things that are influencing culture, influencing religion. If you can step outside of that, and if you love that outside of the influence, then hey, power to you. If you step outside the influence, you'll see, you know what I'm saying, the definitions. You can gain your own definition, be solving. You know, it ain't gotta be that, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what the album is about. Me, look, I lost my mother 2 years ago.
Yeah, man.
So 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So after that, I was going working hard on this album because that was my only sanity. You know what I'm saying? I don't people understand what it is like to really lose a parent, man. But see, I lost my mother in the struggle. Yeah. It's like, you know, you growing up, you want to be the cat to go to the NBA. So right. my hoop dreams fell off. I wanted to go to the league for my mother.
Right.
To get me my mother, my sister out the hood.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the league. So that hoop dreams fell through. Then you want to rap. You know what I'm saying? What Tupac say? How about the mic? And make it to the bright screens. All I had to give up my pipe dream. So my mom, I'm do this for him, get a job, I'm do this for you. And so when she died, I had to redirect my goals. Like, who am I doing this for now?
Right.
Like, my mother, the one I was doing all this stuff for, who I was trying to do everything for, is gone. So you have to redirect your whole life and your goals and still maintain you, still keep a job. Until to the point where I just couldn't. Some had to go.
Right.
And so I chose my music not over my job, but you know, it's sacrifices. Some had to leave for me to do what I had to do. You know what I mean, in my life. So, you know, I put this album out. Boom, boom, boom. Let's figure this out. And it wasn't me trying to just get money off of it. I put it up for free. You know, people, oh, you could have sold this. I mean, hey, man, I'm gonna sell my next one, so you better buy it.
Right.
I don't want to hear that because the next one gonna be even more slammed.
Because you give them the sample and it's that high
right,
quality.
Right. This is
doing
high.
It for free.
I was trying to say I can write movies. I can do this. So every album's gonna sound like this because this is what I do. You know, and people, you know, to me, I'm my own critic. I don't even like it, honestly, because I'm my own critic.
Yeah,
you know,
man, that's
and
so
so
crazy.
I ask you like, hey, is it tight?
Yeah.
People think, well, you ask, no, is it tight? Okay, yeah, tell me how you like this track. So, oh, okay, because I be in my own zone. I write these things coming from me.
Yeah.
I be alone. I don't have the next person next to me. You know?
I think it's good, man, because, I mean, there's so many artists, and I think they start bleeding. Their sounds start bleeding into each other because they keep listening to what's going on right now. I feel like if you're one of your musical idols or your musical, like, mentors is, like, James Brown or Michael Jackson or Bob Marley, or especially like folks who have passed on, but their music is timeless. Yeah. I think when you go back and you really start understanding like why they make this music, like what was going on in their lifetime, like how you know the struggles that was going on for people back then is still concurrent and still parallel to what's going on right now. Yeah. Like, you know, this, you know, and you made it real personal when you started talking about, like, you know, in one track when you really start bringing up your mom, and I was like, damn, man, because I can only imagine like what you were going through, man, because that's a lot, man. I thought about, like, you know, Kanye West losing his mother.
That's a trip me out too, because
I'm like the response musically, what he did after going through that, like he completely changed. Like it was not the same sound, but I mean, like for you, it was kind of like a shift. Like you recreated yourself, you reimagined yourself, like off your strength.
Because I started off making music with this cat named Nice Guy Vinny. Well, no, I go back further than that. I just make music, but the cats people know me from in the scene with Nice Guy Vinny, producer. You know what I mean? From Selection or whatever. So we started off doing that together when we was like 19, 20. So me and him, we've been to the Bay. We did shows with Freddie Gibbs. We done been here, been there. We done been around. And so we was up at a point in time. You know, Selection was making their jump. We started off with Selection. I had a radio show, and Joe K, the founder of Selection, had a radio show. But I was at Long Beach City, he had Long Beach State. Okay. So at the time, we was both going back and forth, like, hey, man, like, he was like, hey, man, you got to come to Cal State so you can get on Selection show. I'm like, damn. I'm at State. I got so many classes at Long Beach City, you know. It's schooling for certain people take longer, you know what I mean? So I'm like, man, I never got. So by the time I ever can get up there, he already, you know, their section already boomed off. But then at the same time, I make music too. Vinny makes beats. Right. So we was me, Zacomo, it was like J. Lewis, a couple of cats, or Janice, we was all on the Selection times, young beat makers doing thing, and I was just a rapper coat teller. You know what I mean? Whenever they have shows, I pop up and they start booking me. They see how I was, they start booking me. And at that time, we doing shows. But then my mother got sick. You know, first my cousin died, right? She was like my aunt. But she's, you know, like auntie, mom, cousin, the older kid who loved me. Mm-hmm. She died, boom. And I was like, that hit me. Start going through different things, you know, personally. A lot of different stuff, you know, off the record. And then, you know, All that stuff. My mother had a nervous breakdown, one of the last ones, and so the house got broke up. I'm staying with Vinny, my producer at the time, and so the strife for that, me just getting caught up in my life. That's why I Tribe Called Quest made beats, rhymes, and life, cause it's beats, rhyme, and it's the life part you gotta go through. You know what I'm saying? I feel, cause it's life, and so I just took a break from music and everything, wanted to shine back to get my mind right. You know what I'm saying? So, and at the time I'm ready to make pushes. Other cats wasn't ready to make the pushes when I'm ready to make. That's just life. If you ready to do something, some people have their own agendas. So you got to, give and take, what I mean? So sometimes you got to step back and see where it is. And so that's why I was able to a lot of stuff was going on spiritually, man. The spiritual warfare thing is crazy. And then people like to joke about it and play about it, but people don't really go through it. They just be around it. But when you on the opposite end of this shit or on the positive end of this shit, it's something you do, you don't talk about, But on that end, and so I said, let me go ahead and just put this album out. I had it for like 2 or 3 years. Working on it for since my mama died, 2 years. I'm like, hey, what's the worst can happen? I'm gonna go and put this soul out because I got so much music I can put out. So that's why I did that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 20-some tracks too, man.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that when you start in the intro and you start like actually changing the definitions and you're breaking everything down like as an acronym, like.
See, I did that because stigmatism is the word.
Yeah.
They always want to cause conflict by calling you something.
Yeah.
Or you a nigga, or you over there with them niggas. Or what Tupac called it, never ignorant, getting goals accomplished.
Yep.
So whatever what you think I am, if I could flip it and make it positive, it's positive. I don't care what it's 20. Yeah. We past the age of Aquarius. We can do what we want to do. We can change. We can create. We can do that.
Exactly.
So what are you talking about? So not even now, bro. You calling me a bitch? Well, I said a bitch is a basic individual that chases hundreds. I bet he ain't happiness. I didn't put no gender on it.
Right.
You
exactly. And I think now, think people will say like bitch in a conversation, but they won't necessarily specifically mean in females.
I don't even use it.
Yeah.
My thing is, I'm more to the point where I want to do that just to make an idea that you guys know that.
Right.
These stigmas and what they're calling you,
yeah.
even my first lines in the album, what they're calling you, think they're calling you, it sticks to you. So now you're fighting over something that it's not even you. You're not even black. You're not even white. You're not even now. You get yourself involved in the war you don't have to be into. That's what I'm saying. So when you take away the word from it, even though it might be a negative word, but what is a negative word? Who is that person? How is that person that much important to tell you something about yourself and for you to feel some way about it?
Yeah.
Where we at people we become that weak. But we tend to be so strong economically, but socially we're horrible. You're horrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no emotionally you're horrible. All you care about what the next man's talking about. You know. So that's why I wanted to do that. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
That you was listening,
No, yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And it's just it speaks to a greater point, especially like folks now, things are starting, like, I feel like society, consciousness is starting to change. And it's just talking about self-determination.
Right.
And it's like, people aren't going to sit here and be like, well, this is what the world is. Nah. I ain't with it. It ain't vibing with me. I don't like your way you talking to me. I don't like none of this. Like, you know what? And just taking just that intro alone, like it felt like you just, it's these shackles that like words that our society uses to like put us in these little boxes. Like, nah, this don't work no more. Like it's not fitting. Like this is less than me. Like I'll never subscribe. I will never let nobody project that on me.
And projection is crazy too. One of my favorite rappers, Prodigy, rest in peace, dropped the Hegelian Dialectic album. And so with the term, it's all about conflict, right? So it's not about what's right or wrong. It's about what you can prove.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I have more money, I can prove my point. And you could be totally right. But since I have the more status or the more capita, my point is right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so these terms we have, and anything that are put up on us in society, we have to step outside of it and say, what is the point? What is this?
Exactly.
What is it?
There are motivations behind that. Like, there's a reason why these people who are in these positions where they can affect change are doing it. There is an end goal.
Right.
And like, it's easy to be like, well, this comes from this university, blah, 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 blah. They did this study on this, and it's like, all right, well, who funded the study?
Right.
And if it's like back in the day when they were like, oh, cigarettes don't cause cancer, this and the other, here's a university study. And then all of a sudden you realize, once you start digging that, like, Philip Morris and Marlboro, they funded the study. And it's like, well, There's your conflict of interest right there. Of
Right,
course,
right.
they paying the university millions of dollars to have these scientists validate what they.
But see, and one thing my science teacher told me about a fact. A fact. And people argue me up and down that a fact is a proven opinion.
Yeah.
In science, in
Yeah.
scientific terms, a proven opinion. So if you can prove that opinion,
Yeah.
it's a fact.
Yeah.
So right, even that term right there, it's like, what are facts? Is that what are we talking about? Since a fact is a word,
Man.
you know.
It's like enough people who we've guided through this system in which we have approved have said yes. Then we're all in agreement.
Majority rules.
But are you all getting paid by the same source
Right,
at the end of the day?
Right.
So how valid are your facts?
Right. So I appreciate what you're saying with the tape. I'm just, like I say, I'm like Badu said, keep in mind, I'm an artist.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sensitive about my shit. So motherfuckers I really be like, yo, that shit tight. Nah, hey. Nigga, don't be on your phone. You listen to my shit.
But yeah, man, it's good. Like, nah, man.
Nigga, what I just say? Oh, I'm starting it back. Nigga, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? That's how I really be about my shit. So I appreciate that. How it equates. You can hear that. You can hear the message where I'm coming from. And that's what I want to do. A lot of these tracks, I wish I didn't put on it. And that's just me being a couple months older. I looking back like, oh, I wouldn't have said, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said this, shouldn't have said that. But I put it out anyway because I wanted to realize life. Yeah. I wanted to realize how it moves and how the emotion, you can be, one day, you can feel this way. The next moment, you can feel another more. And you have to respect each reality.
Yeah, because that's who you were at that moment.
That's who you have to respect.
Yeah.
And knowledge, wisdom, understanding, you can have knowledge on something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then the wisdom says you can move on that knowledge. Okay, I got wise enough to make moves. But understanding is saying, hey, that knowledge is false. Don't waste your wisdom on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so these things I'm learning. And but it's hard to attain that. You know what I'm saying? Not saying I'm just perfect. I'm far from perfect as far as just, that's what the album's about too. Just me stressed. And this last song, Good. It's, everybody likes that track. But that track was just basically me saying, even though my situation doesn't look good, I'm going to be good. Because I've been good all this time. You know what I'm saying? And that's the positive reinforcement I wanted to put out. We just put music out and putting it out in the atmosphere. Because even though things has been looking bad, I wish people just had my life sometimes. And then people won't even judge. Or did you just see that? Hey, I want to trade. Like Eddie Murphy made Trading Places. Mm-hmm. I want to trade places with people because I'm an empath anyway. So I could do that. But people don't feel like they can do that. People don't want to do that. But, you can only help people or show people from a certain spot. So I put my album out. Listen to the album. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's how I did that.
Shit, man. Yeah. I was traveling one day and I heard this guy. He was talking and they were like, seeing some guy on the street or whatever. And it was just like just going roasting his ass. And I remember like growing up in the church or whatever when I was a kid and and like having my mom like see some folks battling their luck at me and like, there go but for the grace of God go I. Like you could be that person. Matter of fact, you are that person. Like you are that person so much that they're just a reflection of you. Right. That would be you. And I think a lot of people get caught up in their egos because they're like, oh, if I was, if I had his life, I'd be doing whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. It's like, no. You letting your ego get the best of you. Like you would be making the same mistakes.
Right.
You date the same girl. You stay with her long you were supposed to. You do all the same shit. You would have bought a car, so it crashed, drove drunk, whatever the fuck it was.
Right.
You would have made those same mistakes.
Right. That's how I said. We could trade up. I'll do yours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Real shit. And I'll be happily make your mistakes so nobody can judge.
Yeah.
Everybody want to be God. Everybody want to judge. But because you want to be perfect. There's no perfect. And I heard stories about different societies that there's so much positive reinforcement in so much societies. When it comes to America, the only spot where that word is just like, they believe in constructive criticism, and nobody believes in positive reinforcement.
Exactly.
So it's like, point taken right there,
Yeah, I mean, and what passes for positive reinforcement these days is just kind of like, it's not lusty.
Right.
It's just like, yeah, you can assign the grades or give a percentage or whatever it is to that person, but it's like, a lot of times folks, even kids who bust their ass and do whatever they're supposed to do, like at the end of the day, they still feel this emptiness.
Right.
Because there's something greater than beyond that. And like how we were saying before, if you're not, wise man knows that, you in this life you have two options: you can create or destroy.
Yeah.
And if you're not actively making something, like how you doing with this tape, like I'm trying to do the show, then either you'll destroy yourself or you destroying something else out in these streets. You destroying something else out in this world. You destroying your own dreams.
But see, it come down to it. I'm a cause and effect dude, though. Yeah. As far as when it comes to social work, I feel like I'm a real social worker. As far as idealistically, you know what I mean, in mind, because my brothers in the social my sister when my mother passed, all that happened. So I seen how the disconnect from social workers could be to certain family members, and so I'm like, okay. And then, you know, sociology is one of my favorite classes in college.
Oh, yeah. I love sociology.
Just to deal with people, bro, and then speech, elements of argument and debate, and interpersonal communication. And these classes and speech, all this BS helps you. Right. They should teach us that in school and don't teach us I just blend it in.
I feel like sociology should go like when they, and then history's a shaky subject too. But written by the victors, and then, you know, of course they're going to always paint themselves in the best of light because they won. But, I mean, if the Nazis would have kept doing what they had done and won the war, then...
It would have been crazy.
Yeah, right?
I heard the Nazis on some wild stuff. Yeah, exactly. I heard them boys.
On some wild shit. Anyway, before we get too far off. But, like, to go back, I think sociology is something that should be taught in the school. And especially one of the things I think that we miss out on is... how we talk to ourselves, right? Like that self-talk.
Yeah, but so my point is, thank you for bringing that back up, because my point is, as kids, we've been taught in this system to think a certain way. Like I said, I was bred. Some NBA players are bred. Yeah. Because they see, okay, I'm going to get my mama out here, and then, okay, all you're going to do is play ball for the rest of your life. Some 10-year-old kids have their plan. They're going to the league. Yeah. They got their path set for them. Some things people are bred for certain things. So you living in the hood, it's so much statistics for somebody black, a brother of color, or anything growing up in a certain area. No matter what color you are, if you're growing up in a certain statistical area, you're going to come out with statistics on your back. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I might have, you know, what they call wisdom or what they call knowledge, or might be somebody who spits love or whatever. But I, nigga,
you know, like
my ass get kicked. I be in the trenches like everybody, like you know, like hey. So, you know, I make music about that. Yeah. About how I just got a different perspective on it. Right. That's it. I'm no different from the next man, my next brother. I got different perspectives on it. You know what I'm saying? Me growing up in my age. So coming up, you get beat down so much as a young black kid. Oh, now this is what I want all my young brothers out there to do. Like, so what you do when you ask your homies, y'all are smoking or drinking. Yeah. Ask your homies when y'all kicking on your homegirls. You like, hey man, is your dad in the house? They all gonna tell you like, no, my mom and dad is not. 75% of black homes to this day, or colored homes, or whatever you want to call it, brown home, the dad is not there. Yeah, is that coincidence? The families are broken. The family divided. Yeah, and they say, okay. Then you look up, everybody catching cases. Everybody, we all smoking, we all drinking. Right. We all. I follow all the statistics. Yeah. But see, they don't care. I'm a statistic. They don't care about this interview I'm talking about right now. Like you have an interview with me, like, oh damn, he's a cool brother, but nope, I got warrants for my arrest. With the wham, this, that, and the third. I'm a number. You know what I'm saying? Right. On that end. And so I feel like if we can just make it to where these people or these numbers are more equal to the system, we just want a little more, because from the 70s to my dad had it hard. I gotta have it hard, and my dad had it hard too. Right. It's like, what is he? He ain't had no dad in his house. Yeah. My granddaddy and my grandma fighting and arguing. So I'm thinking, everybody I ain't never seen a successful marriage. They all ended in death, or they all ended in, you know what I mean. And so as a kid, young black male, young black woman coming up, you have this in your mind who you want to be, who you need to be, because you got to come out of the hood, or you got to push the next man down, or make yourself feel better. And so, like, my point with piggybacking off you was like basically that, you know, very few have a certain thing about it, because either their parents shelter them from that side, or they never see that side. Right. And so it's like, you know, it's very few. It's like a 5%. You know, it's 5%. You know, the 5%, 10%, 85%. So it's few. You know, esoteric knowledge. Because it's like this. It could be 3 kids in one circle. And one kid is gonna be extra smarter than these kids. It's gonna be some kind of he the different one. He the one everybody gonna like. Right. He gonna be able to talk earlier. It's just how it is. You know what I mean? And so The reason why I said that is because, it's people that want to do, people who speak up and do something about it. Some people are around and they're living in it, and they're so bred just to say nothing, just to go to work and wooty boop. I'm gonna still go to work in school, but I'm gonna still say something about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You still gotta talk on it. Like, especially if you got the knowledge and you have to, it's your responsibility.
Right.
Because I mean, like, then what is that knowledge? Then it's just knowledge without wisdom.
Right. No tools.
So I got all these tools. I got a hammer, screwdriver. I got all this shit. I'm aware of what they can do, but I never build anything.
Yeah.
No, I never put it together to actually build. And then I build something, but I don't never teach anybody how to utilize these tools.
And that's what I'm saying. For us, we gotta be teachers at a young age.
Yeah.
We gotta be if you're not by 22, 23, if you ain't a man out here, you're not a man.
Yeah.
You at a young age, excuse my bird, but at a young age, you know what I'm saying, you gotta be that. You would think you talking that understand Huey P. Newton was what, 19, 18.
Yeah.
Fred Hampton, 18, 19 years old. They wasn't that old.
At all. And this cat,
So,
people forget that he was a doctor. They forget that Huey P. Newton was a doctor in sociology.
Sociology.
Like, he's like,
understand these certain things.
It's like, well, when they pull me over and they call me a nigga, I have to correct them. It's doctor nigga.
He's cold.
That's cold.
He was cold. And it's bringing them up is just that, they was young.
Yeah.
People understand. Miles Davis, these are all young. I think we did it at young ages. We had to.
Yeah.
And it's not just now. It's nothing new under the sun. It's gotten worse now because I feel like this generation has disconnected from that.
From that. And I think a lot of it is just like the music and the entertainment has to do with it. Because, I mean, you have, the civil rights movement kind of comes to a low point after all the assassinations that happened in the 60s. And then after that, it's just like all the, there's all the black exploitation movies. The music starts changing. Just the over policing starts to increase, and then all of a sudden you just got crack that just drops off in the middle of this neighborhood, DC, like all across the U.S.
Yeah,
and
this things happen,
man.
These things happen,
man. It's like it's calculated. All of this is calculated, but it's just kind of hard to like sit there and talk to people about it because they're just like, what? Like, why would they do this? And I'm like, well, there's a large picture, but
that's what I'm saying. So the large picture for me is like this. I look around everything that's going on and around me. Man, you sort of have to live in that parallel. Yeah. Unless you're going to change it, you have to live in that lane where, okay, it hasn't totally affected me. And that's one thing my bro put it on me, though, is that a lot of it is fear-based, though. A lot of it is, a lot of the more things in the media, what they put on us, a lot of it is fear-based. Yeah. It's like they have you walking on eggshells for something you never even did. Yeah. Like even now, right? I personally was never a slave. Yeah. Why am I feeling the negative impact of slavery still? Yeah. But I never was. My white homie who never was a slave master. Right. Why is he
Why is he walking around like that?
They lie a lot, right? Yeah. So this is the lie that should be told. That the black man came to America because we wanted freedom to make jazz music. So we come over here.
Want to make jazz music.
We came to Harlem, right? Dig it, Jack, dig it. That's what I'm going to tell my kids. I ain't going to tell them about slavery, bro, because they're going to put them in the whole. I remember when I first learned about slavery.
Yeah. It's like a defeat. No, because automatically puts you in like a negative.
My dad taught me about this shit as a kid. My dad had me on knowledge. But to me to go to school and they teaching me I'm one of the only black kids and they're like, yo, hey, Joe, beat your ancestors' ass. And the white kids, hey, that's why he beat your ass.
Yeah, right.
Like right after class, like literally I can't get 15 minutes.
And that's one of those social experiences where you can see, like, when they do the whole blue-eyed, brown-eyed kid shit.
Right.
Then you come in the next day and it's like, okay, so that lesson we taught you yesterday wasn't real. Like, what actually happened was...
That was every year in school.
You know what I'm saying? Like, wait, what?
Forget what happened. We told you in this history class. This history class, this is going to tell you what's going on.
That's what really went down.
No, this is my theory. Yeah. We came over here to explore ourselves with freedom of jazz, man. Like how America,
I'm with it, bro.
How the Europeans, they came up with freedom of religion. They came to America with freedom of religion. We come for freedom of music. We want to make jazz music because it was outlawed in the motherland. Yeah. So we come here and we landed in Harlem. Right?
Y'all kids getting too funky. Right. Turn it down.
Right. So the Harlem Renaissance. We came here and made a Harlem Renaissance. We're going to skip the whole. And the reason why there was a civil rights movement because the white man was jealous of our music. And that's why there's civil rights music. You know what I'm saying? Let's lie to the kids and tell them that, and it'll maybe give them some more power. Exactly. Because they tell them that they want to keep it real about slavery, but they don't want to keep it real about who's actually here before. And how did they don't.
And now a live performance. Brought to you by our guests. It's the G.O.D.
Deep inside my mind, I find myself lost in the chasms of her soul. This be that Afro-futuristic world, love our soul music. Don't get your mom right, baby, you drive me crazy. Don't be feeding for no reason, I might even ride it over to it. Can't explain the game, not take with no okay to me. African, how you know it, then back in with that booty, yeah, you do. But a booty so gluty, these maximus. None of them make the fit, move it back in a second. And who's lacking and lacking the practice and after this? Hell, every passes it back in the accurate. Don't push it back in the influence for acting up. Hold the roller coaster, cold and slow as person. The thing, he'll take it in pain like Dracula. Hey, hide and go get it, the hide and go get it. Sticking missiles and the pistols straight to my feet. Girl, who could you play with? Don't play with my feelings and the stuff that you want to pull. You making me feel like a man. Bad, no badass. Mom's so badass, such a badass. Mom's so badass, no badass. Mom's so badass, no badass. Bad, no badass. Mom's so badass, no badass. Yeah, mom's so badass, no badass. Mom's so badass. It's a mass destruction, but baby, you got tools. You doing that thing, you can start war. You got tools, drop tools, take it to slow. Niggas to pay you with some relations, I'm waiting the curls. I pause and cut the one. To get back into the playing like a second, that ass is so the bump. To get the form, with some type of force. The baby was in that baby, so took up the reform. You know, it's so soon. You remind me of a scene from second off. Yeah, keeping it low key, that's just my tone. But what you got to be the team, mother, what my sport? Going badass, like mom's so badass, such a badass. Mom's so badass, badass, like, mom's so badass, so badass. Badass, such a badass, like. Bounce. Everybody got shoulders. Bounce. Bounce. It's not about me. And about me. So low. Down. Deep inside my mind, I find myself lost in the chasms of her soul. Lingering thoughts, blank scripts, open poems. I present to you God's greatest gift in the form of a bomb. I present to you God's greatest gift in the form of a bomb. Yeah, bombs over. There's such a tight bombs over. Left bombs over bad, over there, ass swag. Yeah, bombs over bad, such a badass swag. Yeah, know where that ass is. She knows the mother that you know where that ass is.
You know, just looking at my mother's struggle and seeing everything she went through off the record and on the record, I see the black woman struggle.
Yep.
Right? But then everything I saw my mother go through trickled down in my life. And everything my dad did trickled down in my life too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a product of them. Everything I know, everything I love was a product of them, but now I just have my own spin on it. You know, like I said, if you had my mother, if you had my dad, you know, my dad was a militant, my mother was heavy in the Bible. So you get me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's the balance of that.
Right.
And everybody understand that we all come from something. people, we love to recreate, do these things, but you still come from something. Like your whole makeup, how you look and how you talk is you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's how you come from. You know, you can recreate all you want. My mother said, hey, when we get to heaven, the Most High gonna call you by your name.
Right.
You know what I mean? So no matter who you can change up to, you know, you gotta answer. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Yeah,
so
man.
I be like, hey, that's what you know. I say, you know, God watches all. You know, so yeah. And at the same time, God watches all. On a higher note, meaning, you know, being the God itself, being made in the image of the Most High, we all watch each other. That means each one teach from him. That also means, you know, love your brother like you love yourself.
Exactly.
That's, you know, but it's hard to achieve that.
Yeah.
I say in this society when you're living in this pit
Yeah.
of conflict, you know, and that's what I was coming with that.
No, man, but I think it's good. Like, we have to, like, be checks and balances for one another.
Right.
Like, especially if it comes to one of those situations where we out here just operating just off of pure ego versus, like, us, like, really being these caring, you know, God-minded individuals. Yeah. Like, if we are operating just off of it, I feel like, for me, when people ask, you know, in my whole spiritual journey, like, oh, so, you know, how do you find God and how do you find the devil and this, that, and the other, something. It's like, all right, well, I mean, being completely separate from God is what the devil is for me. Right. And to define that, you know, energy of what that is, that's pure ego. That is that is like completely.
It's even ego to say remorse. I'm a sinner. Oh, I'm a sinner. I'm out here killing. That's ego. Yeah. You ain't doing nothing that ain't never been done before. Ain't nothing new under the sun. So you ain't doing nothing.
If you out just out here trying to like project power on the people, or just like waiting for somebody to, and even like I feel sometimes for men like it's usually through violence or like sex or whatever it is, and it's just devouring, but it's an empty pit. Like there's no finish line to that shit. There's no finish line to that shit.
It said, what it say, the road to hell is very, very large, broad, it's big ass, and that's to me, you know, it's 7, to me, like I say, 7 deadly sins. And it makes sense. And the 7 hells attached to themselves and 7 demons attached to themselves, meaning 7 negative energy that affect, when the sins, you know, it's wrath, was envy, gluttony. It makes sense. Sloth, all those things, you know, these different things, if you gluttonous, it's gonna put you into a certain hell because you might get diabetes, gain weight, your leg amputated. You got wrath, you might kill somebody, now you in jail, now you in hell. You putting yourself through certain things. But, you know, I also believe, you know, and we not diagnosing the culture yet. Because, you know, a lot of our ancestors, they already diagnosed it. We just got to figure out now how to actually, like, we know it's a problem. The diagnosis has already happened. Yeah. What's the fucking cure? Exactly. You know? And it's like we're going backwards on the fucking cure. Now we want to change the diagnosis.
Right.
You know
we already know what it is.
We already know
what it is.
Now, it's like this. The cure could be, like I say, you know, I don't eat vegan all the damn time, but I know, I'm the type of kid, I know what's up. Yeah. But when you out here doing your thing, you thugging, you know, I smacked me a burger on the fly and know I messed up. Right. I know it's all poison and they putting chemicals and antioxidants, bullshit. I'm like, man, but when I get back on my chi and my swag and I get back on my you know, my jab, you know, it's all straight. You know what I mean? Fruits and veggies, waters and kales and, you know, chloroplast for the pineal gland, all that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so the little things we can do, like helping a little kid, you walk up to a random little kid, give him $1 and say, the future is yours. That's one little thing you can do. You know, like helping the lady cross the street. You can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Especially if, like, you see
but
young
if you can't
kids
do it, you can't
around.
do it.
Yeah. You start seeing young kids around because, I mean, they looking at you, regardless if you're paying attention to it or not. They're like sponges. Right. They don't forget. Like, it just gets, it's like, oh, yeah, I saw this one dude. He was helping this, like you said, this old lady cross the street. Right. They
sponges. Yep. So much weird stuff I had coming up as a kid. Even now, I wish people didn't shut up. Because if people shut up, I would never know half the stuff I know. Yeah. It just me sit down as a kid. They just call me the man child because I used to eavesdrop in old people conversations. That's what they call me because I used to be
that's just the best way to do it,
so
though.
Wise, and I could be able to know. They used to call me wise man too as a kid. I could sit down and act like I'm playing a game, and somebody I'll stop and say, what you should do is, they like, what the hell? Like, first of all, you're right. But second of all, you stay in a child's place. I just tell them, stay in a child's place. I just like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I gotta stay in a child's place if I'm talking dialogue. You know that. You know, but to me, it didn't kill my drive. None of that as a kid. I just understood it. It made me feel good. Like, okay, then at least I smarter than they old asses. You know what I'm saying? Right. But hey, in my life now, there's some things I'm stupid at. You know what I'm saying? And so some people younger than me can tell me like, hey, bro, you tripping. And so that balance, finding that balance was me putting this music out. Was me getting my mind right, being stable. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't save the world. You know, you only can affect what you can affect. That's positive or negative. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at in my life now is my heart and soul is for the positive. Yeah. That's just what it is. This is how I was born. You know what I mean? And then for that, you get attacked with negative. You know what I mean? And then you got a whole hand of negative cards. And you got to figure out how to make those joints positive. You know, with all these negative hands you've been dealt. Bad hands. You know what I mean? You get bad hands to a good dude, you still got to play a bad hand. Yeah. You still got to go sell crack to make Rockefeller. Yeah. Yeah, you a good dude. You still got to go.
Oh, man.
You know? You a good dude.
I love how people are so, like, like, they're so hypocritical, and they're like, oh, well, you know, this person was a drug dealer, blah, blah, blah. And I look at some of these companies, and I'm like, you're an insurance company, right? He's like, yeah. How long you been in operation? Like, you know, we're 300 years old. Oh, okay. So y'all never insured any slave ships? Because obviously cargo gets lost, and just human cargo. I mean, that was raping. They were doing all that. So crack is bad. Crack, cocaine. Cocaine is the same drug. It's just a route of entry. That's the only. And how much time you going to jail for? That's the only difference. The amount of time you going to jail for and the route of entry into your body. That's the same thing. And then of course the stigma that goes with it. Cocaine is sexy. You know, they put it on Wolf of Wall Street. But the crack is in
chemicals, extra.
Oh yeah, it's just dirty. You do it once, and you're hooked for life. That's why we got to send these folks to jail. Even more, it's a moral issue.
It wasn't even that too. I say it was about the bread too, because black people was coming entrepreneurs, and then all that off the record money is like, you know, we didn't set them up. Okay, we set him up with the bread, but we didn't set this drug dealer up with the bread. I don't know how he got it. We got to take it down.
That's another thing.
You know, if you catch us like saying, fuck a job, I'm making $50,000 a goddamn week off this shit. I'm high rolling, high telling. You know what I'm saying? So it can get deep. They know that the government supply crack to certain areas. That's what you was talking about earlier with the Black Panthers. We know.
Yeah, we know that. It's weird that, you know, when you start talking to people about that, and I'm like, if you even start to look into that detail, like, it's there. Yeah. Like just Google it.
Right. It's all there.
Man, like what's my man that killed the messenger? That movie that came out with I think his name was Ethan Hawke. Might have been him. But yeah, that whole movie, they talk about the reporter Gary Webb and how he was following the whole Ricky Ross, Freeway Ricky story, and then he was able to get into this completely separate proceeding of them indicting this Nicaraguan that had been coming to the U.S. Back and forth, and they're like, oh, you know, we caught him with all this cocaine, X, Y, and Z, but then like toward the end of the trial when they're about to give him the sentencing, basically the State Department came in and was like, oh, he's basically he was saying he's an informant for the U.S. government. Right. But then that same dude is the dude that Rick Ross got introduced to and taught him how to make crack.
Yeah, it got bad because it's like we have, you know, the informant thing, and then everybody gotta have a job. I'm not knocking on nobody with a job. My point, if you put these jobs before mankind and before your people and before actually the well-being and the good, that's when I got a problem. I don't give a fuck where you working at. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's just with these corporations and McDonald's and all these. And so, you know, when you touched on that right there, bro, it's cold to the game, because, you know, that's like I say with this conflict, they'll give you a whole thesis. They'll give you a thesis to run with. Yeah. And then set the other person up with a thesis to run with.
Exactly.
And have you guys both go to war over a false thesis with no understanding.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
The conflict is when you can actually have that control.
So now we got everybody caught up over the drug war. Mm-hmm. Like, that's bigger than what's really going on.
Exactly.
With the ozone layer. Like, that's bigger than it was going on with the slavery.
Like, people putting drugs in their body. The planet is not going to make it. Big fella.
Like, what? That's
like,
a big aspect. You know, the number one branch of the government is the media, or the number fourth, but the number one.
The fourth estate.
The fourth, but I say the number one because that's the only thing. If I never watched TV, I would never know what a government official looked like. That's just real talk.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's that's how we make it go. Yeah.
That's how I with a poll with a president. I watched TVs growing up as a kid. If I never watched TV, I just been in the streets playing football and basketball. A lot of stuff I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Like TV raised me. As a kid, they say you watch too much TV because I was up on everything because I'm watching TV.
Right.
Like old channels, new channels, and Nickelodeon, anything you could think of. I'm trying to get smarter. Trying to make, you know what I mean, put in it. Because situational comedies, I think, help the culture.
Yeah.
Because it puts you in situations, you know. Now it's just everything's reality, fake reality. And
it's like what is this?
That's generation. You see the little kids, they walk, it's like a fake reality. Everybody on the camera, like, you know, it's like, I don't want to sound like an old cat hating on the new generation, but a lot of stuff is lacking, man. Lacking substance.
There's no real substance to it.
No,
and like you see that there's this huge hole in a lot of these kids, man. When we see them, and then like the music they listen to is. Like, even the music we listen to, I mean, we just listen to Cash Money and Project Pat. Right. And E40, like, and like, for us, like, we shouldn't have been listening to it.
No, we wouldn't.
No, we shouldn't.
Juvenile.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. It's not some shit that an 8-year-old boy should be listening to. Or 8-year-old girl listen to, because then it's like, she then internalizes that now. Like, I have to be this. Yeah, because the DNA still there. Like, we still get to the point where we start getting to maturity and, like sexual maturity. And we want to reproduce and do all this other shit. Then, like, we become these things that we keep seeing. We emulate it. But, like, now, we get older, then we realize what's going on. So, it's like, all right, then you got the wisdom.
It's that 5%, man. It's the 5% that know the truth, the 10% that know the truth, too. But they trying to take over the 85%, the rest of the world. Yeah. A lot of people, like, when we talking right now, you would have to be a certain type of you wouldn't even be able to speak to even be even if my level, if your level could be higher than mine with this shit. But for me to even be, you had to be bred, had to be reared for a certain. You're not even saved by level being high. Just whatever you at in your spirituality. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even have that. And like you said, you creating something. You're creating something. I'm creating something. That's why we're here. Yeah. That's rare. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of people don't even have that in them to even want to question what's going on.
Yeah, I feel like
you know,
oftentimes I think like, oh, everybody's doing it, but that's because I'm hanging out with you.
Right,
like, I'll hang out with you. I hang out with like all the other cats that are in Long Beach working.
Working.
So I'm just like, when the jokers is like, oh, well, you know, cats ain't doing it out here. I'm like, who are you referring to? Right. But I'm not thinking outside my circle.
Facts.
And then being like, oh. Yeah, there's a lot of consumers, not a lot of producers.
Right.
And I think in the years to come, if you're not producing anything, you are going to end up getting consumed.
Man, if you're not producing anything, we are going to end up being consumed. Why not produce something?
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Make it happen. You know, so like me, you know, you talk about hopes and dreams and endeavors, you know. Course, like I say, this music was something that was in me, you know, acting, everything that the culture that was put on me as a kid to want to do, I want to do, but I have a different reason and passion for it because I'm coming from a culture with a different idea. Yeah. I'm coming from the story of a motherfucker who never had shit. Yeah. And so my stories, things I write, and my movies and my songs I write come from a spot you can feel. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's my only thing. But if I was born in Africa, if I was born in the motherland, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, if I was born over here, over there, you know, I would have a whole different mindset. I probably wouldn't play football. I would probably want to grow up and be this, that. I wouldn't. So in America, I asked myself, is this who I am? Right. Or just been put, the idea has been put on me. And so I step back constantly and I realize, what am I getting myself into? Right. What am I saying? Who am I? All the time, every day, because is this me, or is these things that have been put on me? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Because you realize that, but the society has projected onto you.
Oh yeah. Every young black male raps.
You've had to adapt to it, so it's just you know. I think now, once you start getting to your awakening, you become a little more conscious with what's going on, and it's like you really start to redefine yourself.
Yeah. Gaining one's definition. Yeah. You're right.
You become God.
Right. Yeah. That part. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Made in the image of a curator. So either you creating or you destroying. So if I choose to curate, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, man. Let's end it right there, man.
Yeah.
That's a good
Peace.
spot to end it, man. Yo, thanks, Mel, man, for
Alright,
coming
you
through.
already know.
This shit's dope, bro. Hell yeah. Can't wait to the next one. Tell the folks where they can check your music.
Oh, it's the G.O.D. Instagram, itstheG.O.D. But then on SoundCloud, the album just came out, Gaining One's Definition, self-entitled album. SoundCloud.com/itstheG.O.D project. It's the God project. So yeah, you can holler at me that way, man. You see me in the streets. If not, it's love, you know.
Yeah.
Word.
And I'll
Nice
put
show.
I'll put all the links to your music in the description and on the YouTube video when we upload it.
Yeah, I finally
And
dropped the album, man.
Yeah,
So you
man.
know they can
Hell
listen
yeah.
to something now.
Hell yeah. All right, man.
For sure.
Hell yeah.
Hey, you got some pretty good.